What if you could win at anything you try?
Now I'm gonna lock it up.
We'll head to New Jersey, where a board game comes alive, and I'll reveal a can't-miss strategy to win at Monopoly. Illinois, baby. Next, we go to the California coast to learn a secret technique that'll help you nail this carnival classic.
I want to win you a prize.
Then, hold on tight as this bucking beast in Texas meets its match. At Sunshine State, here we come, as I decode dominoes with some help from a 5-time champ.
Domino.
My name is Sal Piacente, and I know every con in the book. People hire me to show them how to spot a hustle. From coast to coast, I'll break down and reveal how to win at games, contests, and tricks. From the boardwalk to the carnival, I've got all the angles. Game on, America. We begin in Atlantic City. When people think AC, they think boardwalks and casinos. But in this town, an iconic board game comes to life as you cruise past Atlantic Avenue, Park Place, and Pacific Avenue. These streets are the inspiration for Monopoly. And one hotel built right on the boardwalk, the Chelsea, pays tribute with a game room covered in old pictures and game covers. In this hotel, in the city that provided the map for Monopoly, I'm going to show you how to dominate this classic game. The premise is simple. Roll the dice, move around the board. If a property isn't owned, you can buy it. If it is, you pay the owner rent. Once you own an entire color, a monopoly, you can add houses and hotels to build your empire. Trying to. And when one player has all the cash, it's game over. We are in business. This game boils down to probability. I've cracked the code and have 4 tips to make you a winner. Advance to the nearest railroad. First tip, get on track with the railroads, and I am gonna buy it. Another railroad, I gotta take it. It's simple logic. Every other category has 2 or 3 spaces, but the railroads have 4. Plus, they're spread out on each side of the board, so your opponent is in constant danger of landing on one.
Pennsylvania Railroad.
200.
Making it in.
Look at all my money.
Own them all. And every time someone lands on one, you'll pocket $200. Tip number 2 is location, location, location. In the real Atlantic City, the boardwalk is the place to be.
Boardwalk.
And in Monopoly, this is the most expensive property, but not necessarily the best investment. You want to buy the properties that other players are most likely to land on, because that's how you'll make your money. There are 40 spaces on the board, so theoretically, that means there is a 2.5% chance to land on any one space. Now look at the percentages. With so many different ways to end up there, there's over a 6% chance to land on jail. Now look at the 7 most landed on properties. I already told you about the railroads. The rest are nothing but orange and reds. Why? That comes down to probability. When it comes to rolling 2 dice, 6, 7, and 8 are the most common throws. And since you start at jail more than the rest, small rolls plus those 6, 7, and 8s get you to those oranges and reds, making no spaces the most landed upon properties in the game. That makes red and orange the best bang for your Monopoly buck. Jail is also the key to my 3rd tip. When behind bars, you gotta know the right time to get out. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. We all know that you can either roll your way out or pay your way to freedom, but the truth is, your decision depends on when your jail sentence starts. I'm paying the 50, and I'm getting out quick. If it's early in the game and lots of properties are still available, pay the $50 and get out ASAP. But if it's later on in the game and you're running low on cash, that's a good time to hang out in jail and let others pay the price.
Thank you so much, sir.
There you go.
Which leads me to tip number 4. Home is where the heart is. Okay, Indiana. You know something? I'm gonna buy it and have it. Now I've monopolized the Reds. Once you get a monopoly, it's time to build, baby, build. 3 properties, 4 houses each. People think that hotels are the holy grail. Instead, you should focus on buying as many houses as you can. There are only 32 houses in the set. So the more houses you tie up, the fewer that are left for the competition.
All right, guys, I want to build some hotels here.
It can't happen. Not in this game.
Why not?
You can't. because the rules say you need 4 houses on a property before you can build a hotel. Construction is over, so don't worry about building a hotel. The more houses you have means there's less for your opponent, and you'll be collecting rent and sitting pretty. $9.25 with 4 houses.
Are you serious?
Sailing away.
The ship is gone. Remember these tips, and the next time you're playing with your friends, you'll monopolize the entire game. New York Avenue, 4 houses is $800.
800.
Game over. It was a good game.
How did you do
Great
it?
game.
Very well. Let's head west to Santa Cruz, California. The Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk spans along Monterey Bay, where it's not unusual to see seals, sea lions. You might even catch sight of a whale. But you won't catch me watching the sea life.
The ball got to stay in the basket in order to win, okay?
I enjoy watching the folks who could use a little help on the midway. And a favorite game at any boardwalk or carnival is the basket toss.
Oh, that's a little too high.
It's deceptively simple. Get the wiffle ball in the basket. Easy, right? Not really. The basket is on an angle and mounted on solid plywood.
No win.
But you know me, I always have an edge. And this one is Jen Schroeder. Jen was an all Pac-10 catcher for the UCLA Bruins and played in 3 College World Series, so she knows a thing or two about throwing the ball.
Let's try it.
Looks like we got a couple of people that need a little help here. So Jen and I are gonna do just that and break down basket toss for these two.
I want to win you a prize.
Okay.
$3 for 2?
First tip we're gonna give you is your distance. Would you agree?
You guys see where you were standing? Way back here? Get close to the basket.
Okay.
Get in there. Get over. Nice and easy.
Oh, okay.
If you stand behind the counter, the distance from you to the basket is about 9 feet. But if you lean in, you can cut almost 3 feet off that distance. A shorter distance means a softer throw. And the softer the throw, the more likely it is to stay in the basket. Now, whoa, get closer. That's why you see this fence? They put this fence up to let you feel this as far as you can go. Lean in. Some places have rules about how close you can get. The key is to make sure you get as close as they'll allow.
Ooh.
Okay, closer, but there are still 2 tips to go before these guys can master the basket toss. It's game on the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Former college softball star Jen Schroeder and I are laying down the truth to this couple who've been striking out at basket toss. We've already told them to get as close to the basket as they'll allow, but they'll never make a basket without the proper tossing technique.
You think you're playing like LeBron James or something, shooting a free throw? You got to get under it with the 3-finger grip.
You put your thumb at the bottom of the ball. Then you put your index finger at the top left, or where the 11 would be on a clock, and your middle finger would be at 1 o'clock. The ball should be facing the ground, and you flick your wrist up when you release.
Here's the key. Backspin. Just like that.
That's really good.
Thanks.
Now the most important tip is where you hit the basket. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
The biggest mistake people make is throwing the ball on a line at the basket. The basket is on an angle and mounted on solid plywood. If you throw the ball on a line, it'll hit the bottom and bounce out every time. So, lob that ball and aim for the inside lip of the basket. There's no support there, so the ball will deaden, and with the spin you put on it, stay in the basket.
So, lean in, 3-finger grip,
3-finger grip.
backspin,
Backspin.
high, front part of the bucket.
Use these tips, and you could walk away a winner.
Game's on the line. Here we go.
That's it. That's it.
Well, you got it on too. Come on. All right.
Get in. Get in.
Oh, man, every time. Every time.
There you go.
Thank you. Thanks, Adrian.
Take care, guys. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Let's head back east to a great college town, New Brunswick, New Jersey, home of Rutgers University. Old Man Rapides is a great place to grab a cold one. They have 9 beers on tap and nearly double that amount in bottles. Right now, 4 of them are heading my way. But I've got plans for those bottles that involve a lot more than drinking. We're going to use them for a game that I like to call the human tap. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take a glass and a bottle and a straw. I'm going to give you 1 minute. You cannot move the bottle. And using only the straw, I want to see how much liquid you can put from the bottle to the glass. And this is going to be a race. Okay, we're all involved in this. And I'll give you a 30-second head start.
We can't.
Fastest one doesn't have to pay for this round. It's simple. You have a full bottle, an empty pint glass, and a straw. All you have to do is transfer the beer without lifting the bottle. No, wait till I say go. And then we'll start, okay? And go. Oh, this is good. This is really
that
good.
didn't work out. I thought it was gonna be great.
Oh, that's smart.
It's not
That's
like,
really
is it
smart.
like that? No.
Siphon,
No.
okay, you can try that. That's good. We're 20 seconds into it. You guys are doing excellent.
Oh.
You know, so I better start
Okay,
soon. You guys are
that's
getting
not
ahead of me
working.
now.
I don't
The
know.
best part of this trick is just watching them try.
I thought it was like there has to be another way.
Oh, God.
There has to be another way.
I might have blown this. I gotta
There
go
has to be
soon.
another way.
At this rate, they'll be here all day. We got 20 seconds left. 20 seconds. Time for me to blow them out of the race.
What? What? I give up.
Okay, and time.
Oh,
I won. Check it out. It's all done with air pressure. By sealing the bottle with your mouth and blowing, pressure is created inside. It's a basic principle of hydraulics. With nowhere to go, the beer moves up the straw and comes shooting out. Just get a tight seal on the bottle and blow hard. With a little practice, you too can pull this off and blow your pals away. I'm a little out of breath right now just watching you guys. Next, we're off to the Lone Star State to check out the Warehouse District in Austin, Texas, an area filled with bars, restaurants, and music clubs. And if you're in the market for a genuine honky-tonk experience, look no further than Rowdy's Saloon, where locals flock to test their cowboy chops on the mechanical bull. This bucking beast is the real deal. And believe me, that's no bull. In the real rodeo, riders have to stay on their bull for at least 8 seconds. But at Rowdy's, there's no timer. It's all for bragging rights. And anyone can throw back a cold one and put his or her cowboy skills to the test. Although many Texans try to tackle this brute night after night, most fail within seconds. Okay, there are some exceptions. Meet Nikita Fallon, one of Rowdy's rodeo queens. A master of the mechanical bull. We're teaming up, and soon you'll be showing that bull who's boss. It just comes down to a few simple but effective techniques. Check out Nikita's form compared to this guy. Do you see the big difference? Because the mistake he's making is one you'd make too. It's game on in the Lone Star State. I know the angles to win at any game, and right now, me and Rowdy Saloon star bull rider Nikita Fallon are going to show you how to tame the mechanical bull. It's proving impossible for everyone to stay on for more than a few seconds. What are they doing wrong that Nikita is doing right? Nikita, the biggest mistake I see people make is the grip. They all use an improper grip.
Right. Yeah, they're all gripping overhanded. You want to make sure that your palm is facing up, wedge it underneath the strap there, and then grip it tightly.
Don't fall into the overhand trap. An underhand grip gives you better leverage. And the real trick, it's best to use your non-dominant hand. I'll get to why later. What you need to know now is the best way to grip is without your hands at all. The grip that makes all the difference is from your legs. Check out the way these folks get tossed around while the bull bucks and spins. Instead of staying stable and in line with the bull's movements, they're simply holding on for dear life with their arms. Nikita uses her lower body grip to stay locked in such control of her position that she can even go hands-free.
Squeeze with your knees and use the insides of your legs.
When you get on that bull, scoot as close as you can to the hand that's holding the rope, so you're almost sitting on top of your wrist. Then, squeeze your legs together, pressing them against the sides of the bull. While your legs are holding tight, you've got to relax your upper body. Once you're in position, your upper body needs to be loose to help balance your weight.
So you want to keep your shoulders out of your ears. You don't want to tense up, otherwise you're going to fall right off. So keep them nice and relaxed and behind you.
So your shoulders are loose, your legs are tight, and your weak hand has hold of the reins. It's time to put that dominant hand to work. You ever notice how rodeo cowboys hold their hands in the air while they ride? It's not about style points, it's about balance. And since you're more coordinated with your dominant hand, you use that hand to stay balanced on the bull. There are multiple forces pushing against you as the bull spins in circles and bucks back and forth. To counter them, raise your dominant arm and move it back and forth to shift your weight in the opposite direction than the bull is moving. Keep that rhythm with the bull from the start, and you'll stay on.
You're going to take it behind you when the bull leans forward, and then you're going to take it in front of you when the bull leans up like it is right now. And that's how you're going to keep balanced on the bull.
All of these tips are important, but here's something you can't forget. Even if you have the best technique in the world, there's still a way the bull can get the best of you. You're not playing the bull, you're really playing the operator. This guy holds your fate in his hands. He can jack up the bucking and spinning however he wants, so you gotta get on his good side. So my final tip, give that operator a nice tip. Next time you're face to face with a mechanical bull, remember, you gotta balance, grip, and always tip. Then just enjoy the ride. Now let's jump over the Gulf of Mexico to a neighborhood of Tampa, Florida. Welcome to Ybor City. About 130 years ago, immigrants flocked here to roll high-quality cigars like in the old country. And evidence of their culture has remained ever since, including this high-spirited game, Dominoes. Dominoes have been around forever. They even found a set of these in King Tut's tomb. I'm sure the king had game, but I doubt he was good enough for this guy. Jerome Wooten is a 5-time World Domino Singles champion.
Domino.
Okay, game is on. Now, I'm no slouch myself at this game, and right now, Jerome and I are playing draw dominoes. So pay attention, because we're about to give you some serious insight. But first, the basics. Each player starts with 7 dominoes. The goal is to get rid of all your tiles. There are 28 individual dominoes that can be played in this game, ranging from double blank to double 6. No two are alike, and each tile is divided into 2 sides. The person with the highest double goes first. Big 6. Once the first domino is laid down, each player takes a turn laying dominoes with matching numbers next to each other. If you don't have a matching tile, then it's time to go to the boneyard. Now you got me digging. You have to keep pulling tiles from this pile until you can find one that can be played. The object of the game is to get rid of all your dominoes first. Once a player has gotten rid of all their tiles, the opponent's remaining points are added up. The first to get to 150 wins. You're keeping the right score, right?
So far, until you start winning.
Good answer. So tip number 1, try to get rid of your highest tiles early on. Because if you get dominoed, the tiles that are left in your hand will become points for your opponent. Tip number 2, play your doubles as early as possible so that you can keep a variety of tiles in your hand and have the flexibility to play either end of the board.
You're not gonna like it.
But that's just the basics. There's another level of strategy that separates the big boys from the rest.
Domino.
Ybor City, Florida is filled with great Cuban culture and great dominoes players. Right now, it's game on with 5-time dominoes champ Jerome Wooten. We've given you some basic strategy, but that'll only get you so far. Because to really crush this game, you don't just play the tiles in your hand, you have to play your opponent.
I hope you got 15 in your hand when it's over. See, now I'm gonna lock it up. Domino. Looks like 15 to me.
No, Jerome's not psychic. He just paid attention. And that's our 3rd tip, which starts at the beginning of every round. Jerome leads with a double deuce, and through the power of deduction, he knows there are only 3 moves I can make without going to the boneyard.
You gotta play either deuce 6, deuce 5, or deuce 4, because I have all the other deuces.
By holding the blank deuce, ace deuce and the deuce tray, and having already played the deuce 2, Jerome knows there are only 3 possible deuces left to play.
I know you shouldn't have a deuce because you passed on it earlier.
And since I don't have a deuce,
Have no twos.
Jerome will keep playing his deuces to force me to go to the boneyard over and over again, clearing his path to victory.
So? Domino.
And you just got a hell of a round, buddy.
But there's one more tip, and it has nothing to do with strategy. Dominoes is filled with hustlers. So keep an eye on what your opponent is doing with the dominoes at all times. Check out what I'm about to do now. As I go to the boneyard, I secretly palm a domino into my hand, then slide it into the boneyard as I pick up another domino. So that instead of adding an additional tile from the pile, I just exchanged a bad tile for a new one. So pay attention to those tiles. Keep track of what you have, what's on the board, and what your opponent was able to play on their last turn. Do that, and you'll be saying, domino.
Getting a tad bit too good at this game.